there's a lot of digital illiteracy there. A lot of people not aware of the digital world, how it works and everything. So a smartphone is the most easier thing that even a person from the rural area can be easily able to work with. You don't need Microsoft, you don't need any other information to be able to use a smartphone.
Great. Let's hear from you, Mercy. Share with us your own understanding and what makes this smartphone so important to you as a young person, because you often use it, and I believe you are also using one to communicate right now.
So, thank you very much once again. So, before I would answer your question, I would love to share a short but personal story. So, when I started my journey in data analysis, I didn't have the best tools, and in fact, the laptop I had then was a faulty one, the kind that could, discourage anyone. But that didn't stop me from learning. I used my mobile phone for practice, and sometimes even borrowing my sister's laptop whenever she felt kind enough to lend it to me. But it wasn't that easy. But my passion for particularly tech kept me going. And with consistency, things changed eventually when I was able to get a brand new laptop that worked perfectly for me. And in West Africa today, almost every young person has access to a smartphone. Even if you don't own one personally, you can either borrow or share or find access to one. So it's powerful because smartphone to me means the gateway to knowledge and opportunity. Literally, it's literally in our hand. But the truth is, the way smartphone is also the gateway to knowledge and getting all the information, it is also seen as a double-edged sword that can either distract us with wasting times on social medias and all that. So to me, smartphone is a tool of transformation, especially in the educational sector, entrepreneurship, and so on. There are so many ways in which smartphone are useful.
Okay, great. Let's now get deeper into this conversation, beginning with Jibu, with regards to how young people use smartphones. I know there are many ways, but considering the subject on a discussion about young people using these phones to promote initiatives in their communities, to promote development and other aspects of the community or the environment they live in, how would you term the use of smartphones by young people in West Africa so far, from your own personal observation?
Okay, thank you very much again. Just like my sister said from Nigeria, it has its positives, it has its negative. But today, fortunately for us, however, we are talking about somehow the positive impact it has for communities. And leveraging on that platform, you realize there are a lot of opportunities attached to smartphone in our communities today. 10 squad years ago, the issue of smartphone was never a language of communication because these were not digital platforms for them. But today, with the use of smartphone, I'm sure you would agree with me and my colleagues that, or my counterparts from other countries, that it has a lot of impact in the livelihood and life of young people, especially at community level. It has a sustainable impact, and the areas of sustainable impact cannot be overemphasized because you have education, just like my sister said, and skills development. When you look at entrepreneurship today and community development, or economic development rather, there are a lot of benefits, especially in agriculture and climate solutions. So the benefit that or the impact that smartphones have been in modern day, I will say it's more like a tool for social transformation.
Jibu, have you seen young people using smartphones in these forms and manners that you've listed? Are they using the smartphones for these purposes or other purposes for their personal benefits?
Yeah, well, they have personal benefits, like we said. or like I said earlier, but I have engaged young people that are using smartphone, for example, education and skills development. Look, just recently I engaged a colleague from Ghana who called me and said that they want to have an impact study when it comes to the summer holidays with students or young people who are at the rural place and they have a smartphone. All they have to do is log in and have a question or a concern relating to their education, and it will be filled in and they're answered. So in terms of education, these were areas that developed their skills, because to some who could not even use the internet properly, they had ways of getting them around to get into subjects that they're interested in and study during the summertime. And these were very impactful in communities here in the Gambia, because when this guy called me from Ghana, and that Nigeria, Sierra Leone, Liberia, and the Gambia are logging in, then I tried to reach out to some community young people, and it did. And last week I was in Accra. I engaged the same guy. He said he has been very impactful in terms of education and skills development. Now, entrepreneurship and economic empowerment. Look, a lot of people who are using smartphones today are making a lot of living out of it. I have seen people who have used their smartphones to be able to have proper entrepreneurship tutoring. And of course, economic empowerment, because the more they have the ideas on how to promote their business and grow at community level, the more they put them on social media, and their smartphones have helped them to make a lot of money. Now, when you look at climate solutions, how many of us, I'm a climate activist, okay? I've attended most of the COP and even the Bonn in Germany. People are using a lot of their smartphones to be able to solve climate issues and be able to reach out to their peers and talk about climate issues. You look at health and well-being. You look at social mobilization and civic engagement. Young people are using even smartphones to talk about civic engagements in their communities.
All right, Jibu. Thank you. We'll get back to you. Let's come to you, Muganga. But there are specific issues within the community that need promotion. Other than just using our smartphones to go on live videos, show ourselves, post our photos, there are serious issues in the community like waste management. How do young people look at waste management? Like if the diets are not properly disposed of and they are all over in the community, how do young people use their smartphones, take pictures of those diets, writing few lines on Facebook, challenging the authorities to ensure that those diets are removed? Also, like exposing people who are in a habit of dumping diet within the city limits, just to create an awareness other than just posting your personal photos and other issues just you want to talk about. How is it like in your country?
Thank you very much. That would be really.
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much. It would really be a good thing if it was that easy, like you said. It would be loving if the youth was doing that, using the smartphone for the better, for the good, like you said, recycling, waste management, and other climate things, or any other thing that can be so impactful to the community, rather than looking at her beauty and her
selfie
nails and how causing her self-depression or whatever that can come from that. So the problem is it's not about the government, because it's about the students. It's about the youth. It's about the values that you have, because I believe everything comes with a positive output and a negative output. Technology is there, the smartphones are there to help us do something good, do like you said, but it also comes with other side effects that are negative. That those negative impacts will even impact those positive ones that we should be doing. So it means that we are taking our time, instead of using it useful, we are in other things, which is a very negative thing. But that should come back to us, to the individual, in the individual using the smartphone. It should come to the parents. It should come. That's some willing thing, like example you gave of people getting together finding a way of collecting the waste in a neighborhood. Nobody's gonna come and tell me that. I should be the one who is going to be thinking of that. Get that idea, bring it in. I can use the smartphone as I, who got the idea, to inspire others to also get that idea. So what's needed? It's the talk shows like this. It's the lead. It's media like you. It's you who should be here discussing about these things, telling the youth that you don't need to be doing this. You can use this for other productive things. So I believe mobilization through media, governments have failed.
Governments have failed.
Have failed because for us, for example, in my country, I got a chance to be to be born in a government different from the history of Rwanda.
Okay.
The history now, the things now are going smoother. The government is so emphasizing on IT. For example, it introduced there was a company that manufactured smartphones. It came in Rwanda, started productivity. Do you know what the government did? It introduced a project. It was called Smartphone for Everyone. You get the point? That means that now the government is going to be bringing its own money, buying from
the company
that will boost the company too. But then those smartphones are taken in the rural areas and then be given gratuitement, freely. You get the point? Freely to farmers, to students, to freely. That improves their digital knowledge. It brings them back together, and they need to know, they need to use something out of it.
Okay, that's right. Let's hear from you, Mercy. Aside from waste management or other aspects that Mugonga spoke about, what have you noticed, if there are some community initiatives that young people are promoting in their communities through the use of the smartphones that they are holding?
Okay, for we here, I would say, particularly in Nigeria here, mostly smartphone is used for creating, like say, digital skills. Because in Nigeria here, we have groups like NICTA, 3M programs, and Tech for Devs, which are making sure youth are not just connected, but also equipped with digital skills. And then beyond that, aside from the digital skill I just spoke about, we also have the entrepreneurship part. We no longer need big capitals to start business. We just WhatsApp, Instagram, or TikTok. Young people are building, their fashion brands, food delivery services, and digital product. For example, there's this popular forex guy here in Nigeria, Jeffrey Benson. He's a young Nigerian who became one of Africa's most recognized forex trader. He started his journey with just his smartphone, trading, learning, and practicing everything on that small screen. But today he runs a thriving business and inspired thousands of people. So I think his story proves that the phone in our hand can be the seed for global success. And I think that's what more majority of the youth are kind of like focusing on here in Nigeria, more of content creation, and then learning skills online. Another example is this comedian from Kenya. I think her name is Elsa Majimbo. I could remember when I started seeing her, her recordings on TikTok then during the lockdown. I think it was TikTok or YouTube. She began recording using her smartphone during this lockdown. Within months, her video went viral and worldwide, and she went on to partners with big brands and all that. So that's the power of turning a simple phone into a use of social impact. So I would say here in my country, social smartphone is, literally well used here. Even though it has its negative side, its challenging side, but it is still, I think, if it should be based on rated, it should be, let me say, out of 100%. The numbers of youth in Nigeria who are using their smartphone as a means of earning are like, will I say, 60%? Because obviously we literally have a lot of graduates who, like, graduate from the universities and all that, and eventually the job won't come. So before you know, people will have to turn to their smartphone to start earning online. And even if you ask most of these content creators here in Nigeria, some of them will tell you that, oh, I studied engineering, I studied this course, and you'll be kind of shocked that, so why did you decide to, go into this? But eventually, I feel they just got to realize that the smartphone in their hands is not just a tool for just, scrolling through social media and not making good use out of it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Now, I would love to ask Jibo. There is this belief that the young people are not properly using smartphones for the right reasons. And in the context of our discussion, what would you say about the Gambia? Are young people using the smartphone to promote community-based initiative? I'm keen on community-based initiatives. Are they using it to promote where they're living, the problems that they are facing? Are they using the smartphones to express those problems through the Facebook pages that they have? Are they using those smartphones to promote the community meetings, the little farming activities, the little youth engagements that maybe the youth of the community would get engaged with? Are they using their smartphones in the Gambia in such a manner?
I would say yes, in a way. I'll also say no in a way. So, just like my brother there said, there are so much negative involvement in this. Back home in the Gambia, precisely, recently we are going through a lot of vices between young people and the government. I'll tell you for free. If you are following some of our social media handles or some of the internet providers or the online mediums that are reading news about the Gambia, recently young people have held government accountable through their social media handles or their phones. So whatever is happening in every sector in the government, I am working for the government. I'm working at the Gambia Ports Authority, which is the backbone of the country, and I speak for the company. I am telling you that I'm also a youth activist. So most of the people who are rebelling on these issues happening in the country, I know them. I've worked with them as an activist. We have crossed paths together. They're using their smartphones now and their social media handle to put government accountable on checks and balance happening in the country. Now, the recently outburst between government and young people is that young people took to the streets on the issue of the high cost of data in the country, which did not go well with the Public Utility Authority. And then the government arrested over 44 young people, and this ended with a very, very, very tense situation in the country. So just to align with that story, young people every day now in this country are looking into sectors that government or SOEs that are state-owned enterprises that needs checks and balance, and then they take it upon themselves to make sure that accountability is done. And if there are no answers, they demand answers in any way they could, and they reach out to government officials, even if they have to walk in the street and go to your office on a peaceful protest to ensure that they demand answers and give you a position paper or a demand or a request. They do this day. So the social media in the country today, or the use of smartphone here, is a click, and everyone is running from the beginning to the end, from Banjul to Koina, as we would say, from Banjul to the last village in the country. Once there is a youth movement around, everybody is connected. Everybody gets to know it through your smartphone. And if there is an unrest within one municipality, the other municipality takes it. Okay. Now, in terms of agricultural development and entrepreneurship, I would say whatever is going on today in terms of success stories in young people, they are celebrating each other on social media. They are selling their products on social media. I get to know about some certain products that young people are producing in the Gambia here today through social media. Even the locally made tea bags that are made through some of our products here, we get to know them through social media. We get to see them promoting, just like my sister said in Nigeria. Some of these people have their smartphone in their hand. Every year you have thousands of graduates, but you cannot wait for the job. You have to go for the job. All it takes is having a good smartphone in your hand to be able to produce that. So back home in the Gambia, I must say the smartphone has a lot of positive checks and balances these days in terms of getting people accountable and getting success stories registered.
Thank you so kindly, Saidi. Well, we have so far listened to interesting interactions with our guests on this 35th episode of Take the Lead in the year 2025. Let's now take some time and listen to WADR's Christopher Aticho for more insights about the impact of smartphones use on West African communities.
In recent years, the rapid growth of mobile technology has significantly impacted various sectors across Africa, with agriculture being a notable beneficiary. According to the 2024 survey by the French Agricultural Research and Cooperation Organization, CIRAD, approximately 20% of the rural population in West Africa does not own a phone, while 60% possesses basic phones and 20% use smartphones. This reflects the increasing inaccessibility of mobile technology among farmers. West African youth have the potentials to leverage smartphones and drive community development in several ways. In agriculture, they use mobile phones to access real-time data on weather patterns, planting schedules, and market prices, leading to more informed decision-making and increased productivity. They also utilize mobile money applications to access financial services, manage business operations, and engage in e-commerce, thereby expanding local markets and stimulating economic growth.
The season which is now fading away, we had a long growth right from the end of last year up to around March, April, like that. There was no rain. So with the help of this phone, our farmers were able to hold on a bit until the rain comes, then they plant their crops.
Beyond agriculture and business, young people can use digital tools to promote health literacy and support the implementation of digital health initiatives. As digitally literate intermediaries, they play a pivotal role in bridging the gap between technological innovation and rural healthcare delivery. West African youths are also contributing to the growth of the local digital sector by not only consuming but creating digital solutions tailored to their community's specific needs. This includes developing apps, platforms, and services that addresses community challenges like waste management, education, finance, and community development.
At Lantos Creative Concepts, we have dedicated our artistic practice to the repurposing of discarded materials into meaningful art pieces that inspires, educates, and questions humanity's contribution towards a sustainable and a greener environment. Annually, the world generates 8.3 billion tons of waste, out of which 6.3 billion are trash. Ghana contributes to 1.1 million tons of this waste, and only 5% of this waste are recycled. Hence, as a firm, we collect and add value to these waste materials that connect deeply to the heart and soul.
Content creation is another way where youth can make a significant impact by producing digital content in local languages focused on topics such as technology, agriculture, and personal development. They can engage and influence broader audiences while preserving cultural identity and enhancing digital inclusion. By embracing digital innovation innovation and actively participating in the development of local tech ecosystems, West African youth are ensuring that technology serves their communities in meaningful, culturally relevant ways, transforming challenges into opportunities across agriculture, health, education, and entrepreneurship.
Thanks to the one and only Christopher Aticho for that crafty piece of arts there from his fingers through his computers and now on the radio. Welcome back to Take the Lead, your premier youth platform here that sets the agenda for topical discussions all about young people within West Africa and beyond. We are streaming live on YouTube at WADR and on Facebook, WADR English Service. Let's quickly recognize our partner radio stations across the sub-region. Beginning with Nigeria, we have Darlin FM. In Nigeria, we also have Nenzit FM in Kaduna State and Love FM in Abuja. On the way in Liberia, we have Alternative Radio in Lofa County. We have DCN Radio in Rivers County. We have Kwatika Radio in Banga, Bone County. In Sierra Leone, we have African Young Voices. We have Radio Bab. We have Hands of Hope in Freetown. Eastern Radio in Kono District. In Ghana, we have Radio Path in the Savannah region. Royals FM. Well, in the Gambia, we have Numi FM and Radio Veritas. Once you are in those countries, be assured that you will listen to a rebroadcast of this wonderful youth program. Now let's come back as we wrap up this segment quickly. We will love to hear from our guests. What are the ways, what are the best means to having young people properly use smartphones that will impact their communities, that will show the development in their community? And we will start from the Gambia and come down all the way to Dakar. Beginning with you, Jibo, what would you say to maybe technology companies? Would you want them to develop apps that should be specifically focused on community-based initiatives? Would you want trainings for young people to focus on, showing things in their community rather than themselves? What would you say in addressing solutions to this topic?
Thank you again.
Recording stopped.
I think first and foremost, back home, I will obviously say that we need, for instance, more access to smartphones, okay, at community level. Of course, here we have a high data cost. I think if we have a low data cost and powerful electricity, then young people will do more of their activities and all that. But also, most importantly, we need there is a need for digital literacy. See, the more reason why young people, the other percentage, are using social media or phones for the wrong reason is because there is a low data literacy amongst the youth folk. So if there is enough data literacy, I'm sure we can always channel a path forward. Now, we need to empower youth with the right tools. Yeah, encourage them to support digital inclusion. So if we have all these things in place, three of this item: one, there's a need for digital literacy. Two, we need to empower youth with the right tool as far as smartphones and social media is concerned. And we need to encourage and support digital inclusion so that we are able to guide what goes out and control what comes in.
Great. Let's hear from you, Mercy. What are your recommendations?
Okay, so one of the best ways young people can really make an impact with their smartphone is by looking at them beyond just chatting, entertainment, or scrolling endlessly on social media, and instead seeing them as a powerful tools for community development. A phone in your hand is like carrying a mini library, a business office, a camera, and even a microphone for advocacy. With this, youth can learn new skills, like new online skills, from coding to agricultural practices, and then bring that knowledge back to improve their communities. They can use their phone to create awareness or pressing issues, just like the waste management that you mentioned earlier on, the health campaigns, educational drive, and even peace building, things that directly affect their immediate environment. For example, with just a smartphone, right? A young person can document a poor road condition, environmental hazard like open a dump site or even government negligence and share it widely until authorities are forced to act. So phones also give youth the access to digital financial tools, enabling them to start small business, connect with buyers, and contribute to local economic growth. So with this, but at the same time, just like he has mentioned, the challenges cannot be ignored. Not every person has access to a smartphone, and even for those who do, high data costs, especially here in Nigeria, like the high data cost is just so unimaginable, and then unreliable internet in many parts of Africa, especially in rural Nigeria, can make it, frustrating to maximize the phone's full potential. So many young people also lack, digital literacy. So instead of using the phone for empowerment, they go stuck in the cycle of, endless entertainment and distraction. There's also the challenge of misinformation and online fraud, which can discourage people from, trusting all these digital platforms. Yet, despite this obstacle, the truth is that young people are already showing us, the potentials, and from calling out government failures and, to leading social movement that began on Twitter, Instagram, and all that. So I feel the key is to just be intentional. You just have to be intentional. If more young people start seeing that smartphone as a tool of growth and community impact, not just for consumption, the difference it will make in Africa will be massive. Thank you.
Thank you so kindly. Now to you, Mugonka. Well, how would you want to see young people using smartphones in their communities?
Thank you very much. I would. This is a very nice point you brought up because I would say two things.
Okay.
First of all, as my colleague said, there are some topics that come in between. Digital literacy. There is a high data costs.
Yeah.
They keep coming, whether in Gambia, whether in Nigeria, whether in Rwanda, whether in Senegal. So I would suggest something. Everything can come back to the government. The government is the one. For example, in my country, there is a project. It has been there for long. It's called One Laptop Per Child. You understand?
One laptop per child.
Per child. That's something that it's not done in university level. It's done at primary level. You understand? So you're a primary student, and they don't have to give you a MacBook or a HP. You're a primary student, but it inside it creates something in you. You start clicking the keyboards. You know how the keyboards is arranged. You can play a game. You can that creates something in you. The IT is a passion. It gives you that passion in you to learn, to want to learn more, to want to know more. You get the point? So that can really help, for someone to be able to know that he can use this for other things, for learning, for productivity, rather than just for other meaningless, though needed things. Another thing I would say mobilization. The people gotta be aware, and of course the government can do that, through very many things. But the media take the lead show on West African Democracy Radio. What we are doing right now. A lot of young people who are there, they're going to be inspired. They're going to be aware. They're going to learn something out of it. Something that maybe he didn't know. He's going to know.
Sure.
That can really make a very small but impactful thing, which is needed.
Wow, that's so wonderful. Well, Jibu Saidi, we really appreciate your time being on the show again today. Please, we will always knock your doors for another engagement on the platform. Thank you so much for participating today, Jibu.
You're welcome. I appreciate that. I'm always open to that.
Great. And to you, Mercy, thank you so kindly for being available and sharing your thoughts with your fellow West African youths. We hope to have you another time.
Thank you so much for listening and for having me.
Great. And to you, my dear brother Muganka, I know you are here. We'll always reach out to you for more engagements. Thanks for today.
Thank you very much for inviting me.
Well, listeners and viewers, this is where we conclude the 35th episode of your Youth Exchange program. Take the lead on West Africa, Democracy Radio, broadcasting all the way from Dakar, Senegal. It's been a pleasure having you with us. Please join us next Friday for another live episode of this program. Remember to take the lead in shaping the discourse for the betterment of young people in Africa. My name is Augustine Cully. Bye for now.
Hey people, my name is Mello, Afrobeat singer from Guinea and Conakry. I love listening to the program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.
Hello, my name is Fatou Bintou Asuke. I'm the CEO of African Start Shop and I love listening to the York program Take the Lead on West Africa Democracy Radio.